All right, we are live. Welcome back, everyone. J-Bone here for Smash This Podcast. Coming at you on a Monday evening. Hashtag MLW Monday. Trying to get back in the habit of doing that. I've been so inconsistent, but at least try to get the MLW Fusion review out when I can. So, and in honor of who appears on this show, let's dive into the little goodie bag next to me here and pick out make me worry. We dive into the goodie bag and we grab a pop for Joey Ryan. Getting out the oil. Shut up. I don't do that on here. You're nasty. My goodness. I'm going to scare away all my viewers talking about that. I don't know. I don't do that. It's go away. We're good. Go away. All right. So this is for MLW Fusion number 28, Fright Night. I can't roll the R's. I'm not that cool, but Fright Night. Welcome to Fright Night. Classic comedy vampire movie. Some comedy. I think it was meant to be scary. It really wasn't that scary. Although some of the monsters in it, like, you know, that nasty looking bat thing partway through the movie. Yeah, that was kind of scary. I mean, when you're little, you know. Grape. I wonder if Joey Ryan likes grape. I'll have to find out. All right, so this starts out with viewing some footage on what happened with press event leading into Chicago's Fightland coming up very soon. Next week? Coming up next week. No, unfortunately, I don't think I'm going to be going. I wanted to go. The card, we'll go over the card in a little bit. That card looks stacked as hell. And I like how they're really building up this feud between Tom Lawler and Low Key, because a couple months ago, Tom Lawler won this. He won a chance to fight the champ at what the hell is it called? Oh, Battle Riot, 40-man Battle Riot, which is kind of like winning a, briefcase in a such, or it's also kind of like winning a Rumble. You win a chance to fight the champ. It's same but different, So he won this, and they really haven't talked much about him facing the champ. I mean, they haven't really stated like he's got to announce it, if he could just, show up and do it. They haven't really given any stipulations for this. But he did announce on last week's show that he does want to face him in February at some event. I can't remember what it's called. I'm sure they'll be promoting it soon. They met at a press event, and when they were talking in some hallway, Cal behind Tom Lawler and choked him out with a baseball bat, while Low Key basically hung the championship in his face and just taunted him. Just totally taunted him. So It feels like they're finally building this up, and they're going to slowly build this up over the course of the next few months. And it'll be interesting to see how they do it, because this brand is still kind of new to me, as far as like building rivalries and stuff like that. And I mean, it's not rocket science, but when it's been done a billion times in professional wrestling, you only have an hour to do stuff. You got to be a little creative sometimes. So, hey, so far this is working. I dig it. I can't face off. It's going to be ridiculous. It could be the fight of 2019. Seriously. We got Tony Schiavone and Matt Striker doing a play-by-play. Matt Striker, seeing as this is like a Halloween episode, Matt Striker has a lobster thing around his shoulders and hanging over his head. And he was looking at the camera like this. And Tony said, "Well, what are you?" He said, "I'm a rock lobster." And then he threw out all these horrible seafood puns. I love Matt Striker. His sense of humor is so goofy. But I don't know what the hell Tony Schiavone was wearing. For a second there, I thought it was a KKK cloak. KKK cloak. I was like, oh, no. No, that's no. And then looking closer at it, it looked more like I don't know. Kind of looked like Mordecai's cloak. Remember Mordecai from the WWF back years ago, who was supposed to face Undertaker and then just magically disappeared? Came back years later as Thorn in the WWE's version of ECU. That guy. It looked like his white cloak that he wore to the ring. That's what it looked like. So I don't know if it was supposed to be that or like an Assassin Creed kind of cloak or something. It just looked goofy as hell. So that's it. They were on camera on this, thankfully, because I was, oh man, too much. This first match, Richard Holiday. Not familiar with this guy. So I don't know if he's going to be a regular on ML going forward. Like I said, it's like I've seen what the regulars are over the last couple months as I've started to review this on a regular basis. But I don't think I've seen Richard Holiday before. If I did, I missed it. Maybe it was in one of the earlier episodes that I missed, possibly. But nonetheless, Richard Holiday comes out kind of looking like a cross between Randy Orton and MJF. A bigger, taller version of MJF. Kind of cocky. He's got kind of like the Wall Street pretty boy look. Something like that. Coming out against Joey Ryan. Very comical match. Some okay wrestling in it, but most of it was comical. A lot of it to do with Ryan shtick, the lollipop stuff, the oil. He beat him with a sweet tooth. What do they call this? Sweet tooth? That's beautiful. That's freaking beautiful. I love that. And of course, Matt Striker. Is that a hair on that thing? Of course it is. And now it's in his pants, in Richard Holiday's mouth. Some lucky lady at ringside gets it in her mouth. That's hilarious. That's a quality match right there. Great stuff. Excuse me. Next, we get a segment in the hallway. Backstage, Sammy Guevara's talking to Conan, and Conan's like, hey, you're having kind of a rough start here in MLW. You need to, quit worrying about all this YouTubing and or vlogging and focus on why you're here. You're wrestling, and he points at the AAA Cruiserweight Championship. And I wasn't sure if he was still AAA Cruiserweight Champion. I mean, he is. He is. So, we might see a bit of a switch for Sammy Guevara, or we might see some new representation. Good on Conan for, trying to take care of that next generation. Props to him. Seriously. So he's done talking to Sammy, and here comes Low Key. And they're talking they're talking in Mexican. I can't understand it or any of it, really. But then Conan's like, hey, I got someone for you. You're going to face Daga. And Loki's like, oh, you got someone. Hey, okay. So, and this match actually made the news. Not going to say why. If you missed it, go look it up. But I can't wait to see this. Daga versus Loki. Oh, man. That's going to come up in about a month or so. That's a guess. Somewhere within the next month of episodes. It happened a few weeks ago. So I can't wait to see that. Daga will make his debut. MLW. At least I think it's his debut. Pretty sure it is. And what's next here? Okay. Got Jimmy Havoc in the back with the wheel. And I can't think of her name. I apologize. One of the new little ladies, the back there. And this is all leading up to the match between Jimmy Havoc and Sami Callihan. So it's spin the wheel, make a deal. So he spins the wheel and it lands on Spinner's face. And in the corner of the screen, there's a little video of Sami Callihan kind of like watching at a distance or from an undisclosed location, right around the corner. But he's watching to see what Jimmy Havoc's going to pick. And Jimmy's reply is, MLW management, I want you to bring everything possible out there. And Callahan's throwing his hat. He's pissed off. So, and I got to say, the only thing I didn't see out there basically was the match. That's the only thing they really didn't set up. I mean, they could have done all this in a cage, but then they would have had to put everything in the cage. So it's okay. I'm good with that. I mean, these guys are creative enough. If you missed it, the UK Impact Wrestling, a Twitch event? It was a Twitch event a month or two ago. One of the headlining events was Jimmy Havoc versus Callihan. So this has happened recently, of course, but it's in front of another, audience, another crowd, another company. But man, what these two did to each other in that show, I was very curious to see what they were going to do to each other. Were they going to top it? Was it going to tie it? Was it going to fall short? We'll get in a little bit. But yeah, he says, I want everything out there. Callahan's just pissed. Next, we get an amazing match between PCO and LA Park. Oh, my sweet Lord. Selena De La Renta, of course, at ringside with LA Park. What these two beasts each other. Guys this big are not supposed to do this kind of stuff. You're talking about santons. You're talking about diving off the top rope to the outside for a splash. You're talking about missing topes through the ropes to each other. I mean, just ridiculous stuff. You've got to. I mean, and LA Park's a big guy. He's bigger than PCO, and PCO's nothing to sneeze at either. They really knocked the crap out of each other. PCO's, I love it. He gets in the ring and he gets psyched up, kind of like a monster. And he keep calling him the monster, like he's not human. It's how he promotes himself now. He's human, like he's some kind of Frankenstein monster. And he walks around and he's all, it's classic. I love it. It's like, this isn't rocket science. You get a guy who just he's been having just an unbelievable year, getting for all these crazy ass shows, all these big matches, and now he's signed with MLW. But this match with LA Park, my goodness. The topes, the tons, the slap chops back and forth. LA Park finally comes out with a win here with a spear, and just a devastating spear. It's ridiculous. And so yeah, LA Park wins this one versus PCO. Then we get a whole card run down here for Fightland and Chi-Town, and man, I wish I was down there. I really do. It's just not in my budget. But this card is incredible. So we got Callahan versus Lawler. The team championships are on the line. Lucha Brothers defending against Los Parks, so it's LA Park and his son. The MLW championship defended by Low Key against Strickland, finally getting his rematch clause. Took you long enough, but what are you gonna do? He's a busy guy. Where are we at here? The debut of Rush from CMLL against Sammy Guevara. Good night. I'd buy a ticket just to see that match. Here we go. PCO versus Brody King. Jeez Louise. These guys are going to kill each other. We got the debut of Marco. Oh, no, it's not a debut. Next week is going to be the TV debut of Marco Stunt. But we got Marco Stunt versus Ace Romero. So it's Ace Romero's debut. Excuse me. Brian Pillman Jr. against Tommy Dreamer. The Dirty Blondes versus a team called Size Matters. Is that what this is called? Swaggle Lion. That's going to be humorous. Cotto Brazil versus Trey Miguel. That could steal the show. And then the return of Stokely Hathaway, along with a few other matches that have yet to be booked. It's going to be interesting what Stokely Hathaway does. I'm really curious to know, because I loved him in Evolve. And I haven't watched all the events, since I got rid of Flow Slam, late last year, about a year ago. So I've missed some of the Evolve events and some of the stuff that he's been tied to in that brand, but he's not with them anymore. And I was really hoping he was going to, because WWE is so desperate for decent managers, and you could have tied Stokely Hathaway to anyone and made him $1 million. I think he's one of the best managers out there. I love him. So now, what I didn't realize is that he used to be with MLW, and so this is actually his return to MLW. To me, it's a debut, but I guess he's been there before. And I don't know who he used to represent either. I'd have to look into that. So The main event for this episode of Fright Night MLW Fusion number 28, Sami Callihan versus Jimmy effing Havoc. So we get the spin the wheel, make a deal match, and they just drag out all sorts of stuff. You got what the hell did they all use? The body bag was the end of the match. Jimmy Havoc brings in an 8x10 of Joey Ryan and starts running that. I don't know why Callihan took his feet off. I mean, he took his boots off, because that's just an open invitation to have a maniac like Jimmy Havoc torture your feet. I'm an insanely ticklish man. Like, to the point that if you tickle me, there will be noises coming out of me not heard by the human ear before. Okay? Do not tickle me. Because what happens to me is just terrifying. Like some just unheard of cack. Like, I'll hit notes you've never heard before. It's scary. It's very scary. But nonetheless, Sami Callihan takes boots. And he's hitting him with his boots. And I don't know what I think he did something with his socks. I'm not sure. But Jimmy Havoc at one point take 8x10 of Joey Ryan and using it for paper cuts on Sami Callihan between his toes, across the crease in his mouth right there. Where else? Oh, I've seen him use it like I don't remember if he did that in this match, but I know I've seen him use it like on the soft back part of your arm here. Oh my God, I'm cringing just. Oh. Chewed off part of a lemon and squeezed the lemon juice into these open wounds. Oh my God, I almost forgot the stapler. They were stapling each other all over. Jimmy Havoc caught one in the forehead. I think they both got one in the crotch. Jimmy Havoc got one in the armpit. Oh my God. I'm cringing because I got the visuals going through my head trying to remember this stuff. And it's just, oh my God. With these guys have a special relationship. Let me tell you. Oh dear God. Towards the end of the match, Jimmy Havoc grabs an urn from side with ashes in it, brings it in the ring, standing over Callihan knocks it into Jimmy, ashes everywhere, all over Jimmy, completely covered, ashes in the face. And then the end right there. Sami Callihan did stuff, got him into the body bag that was put into the ring, gave him a couple drivers, and then that was it. So on 2 shows now between Impact Wrestling in the UK and MLW, I've seen Sami Callihan beat Jimmy Havoc twice. It's very interesting, at least. And I've heard that they've faced each other a dozen times before this. I would have loved to seen some of those other ones and seen what they did to each other. Weeks ago, I don't know. I'd have to look it up. But nonetheless, great episode, crazy hardcore stuff, some comedy, some violence, some cringeworthy acts between Callihan and Havoc. Callihan wins that one. So next week, we're getting Tommy Dreamer versus Brody King. Oh my God. I don't know who's in more trouble in that one. I don't know a lot about Brody King, but I know he's a big, bad mother trucker. We got the Hart Foundation also in there against, okay, now next week is the debut on TV of Marco Stunt with ACH and Rich Swann against the Hart Foundation. Teddy Hart, Davey Boy Smith Jr., and Pillman Jr. So that should be an incredible match. So yeah, that's about it. Great Fright night. Setting up some good rivalries here. Can't wait to get to these Chi-Town matches on TV. My goodness. Those are going to be really something to talk about. A lot of debuts, too. A lot of debuts. MLW's really bringing in some decent talent lately. I'm digging this stuff. I'm in the ballroom where Impact Wrestling is doing their tapings right now, or had their tapings, I should say. So, I mean, it's kind of funny because it's the same, but it's different. So, it is what it is. But nonetheless, thanks a lot for tuning in. Hopefully no problems going forward with YouTube like I had last night, where they just decided not to process my video. So I had to redo my Lucha Underground predictions this morning. So if you missed that, get that out. Along with anything else recently you might have missed of mine, go check it out on the channel. And if you're new, by all means, if you're digging the content, plenty more of this where it came from. Don't forget to smash that like button, smash that sub button, and ring that ring-a-ding-a-ding. Ring that bell for notifications. So good. Now I know why he takes these everywhere. They're yummy. Love them. That's why I got a goodie bag sitting here full of them. So we'll see you later. Ring Warriors coming sometime tomorrow. Probably tomorrow night. Got stuff going on tomorrow during the day. So yeah, we'll shoot for that tomorrow night. And so yeah, enjoy the rest of your Monday evening. Have a good one, and we'll see you mañana. Later. Peace.